Yo, how's it going everybody? It's Macklin Gaming. So where have I been? In almost a week since my last video, well, I've been playing the Nintendo Switch 2 every single day since it launched. I went to stand in line at like 5 a.m. on launch day, picked it up, and I played it every day since. And I've checked out a bunch of backwards compatible Switch 1 games. And I've also played the new Mario Kart World. So I want to talk about Nintendo's newest console, newest handheld hybrid, and talk about whether really it's an upgrade from the original. Is it anything different? Is it worth purchasing for $500 or 450 American dollars? Let's find out. So last week I did a little unboxing video of the Switch 2 and first impressions on a few games I played, including the new Mario Kart World. But now I played it for over like 10 days and I rolled credits on Mario Kart World. I unlocked the mirror mode as well, and I played a bunch of other backwards compatible games, one of which I have fallen in love with, and it's not even like really updated that much, but we're gonna talk about that here. So like I said in my first impressions video, the system itself feels great in the hands. For me personally, it's a bit bigger than the Switch 1, and it feels like a more high quality, high class luxury console. It's not like a toy really at all. So let's talk about the LCD screen. I've been playing on the OLED for the last 4 years, Switch 1 OLED. And the Switch 2 LCD screen is really so good looking that I don't miss the OLED much at all. Like, I know if I went and grabbed the OLED right now, I'd be like, oh yeah, it looks so much better. But the LCD screen can get really bright on the new Switch 2, and if you dial in your brightness settings, HDR settings, you can get some good dark levels too. It's not gonna match an OLED, but the screen really, when I'm just sitting there playing, it looks great. I'm not complaining. I saw someone online be like, I'm not buying the Switch 2, I'm gonna wait until it's a Switch 2 OLED screen. Fine, like, you must really not care that much about the games. You care too much about tech and the hardware. But overall, the LCD screen is great for a launch system. They had to make it a little cheaper to make all these units to sell, so I'm not complaining about the screen at all. Now, how about the battery life? People have been complaining about the battery life here. I've noticed it's definitely shorter than the Switch 1 OLED. It might be on par with the Switch 1 launch back in the day when you would run Breath of the Wild. It would only last like 3 hours, but they improved the battery there. So the Switch 2 is just more powerful. There's more going on graphically that it has to do. So it's going to be tough for, the Switch 2 to have long battery life when it's using more power. But they're going to in the future make a battery update, and I'm going to be annoyed because I bought the original Switch 2 and I'm going to need to get this new one for the battery. They'd have to change something else. I would not just, get a new console for a battery like the Switch 1 had that upgrade. They'd have to upgrade like OLED screen and better battery life, then I would get it. So like I said, for a launch system, the battery life, it's not great, but for me so far, I've had no problems. Some people have had it where like they're playing, they're on like 45%, and then it goes to like 1%, and then they're sitting there playing for like an hour on 1%. So the battery reading is just not, it's malfunctioning. The battery itself is fine, but what your screen is saying is like glitching. So people have had that problem, I heard. I have not had that. So if you're having that problem, like I said, shout out to Jake Randall. He was the one who said that your battery is not the problem. It's just the reading on the screen, which is glitching out. So don't worry too much about your new Switch 2. It's gonna be fine. The battery's fine. But after playing the Switch 2 for almost 2 weeks straight, I have not touched my PC or my PS5 since the Switch 2 came out. And the most fascinating thing for me about the Switch 2 so far is NVIDIA's custom graphics card inside of the console itself. And the way I tested this graphics card out was by playing as many Switch 1 games backwards compat as I could to see how they improved and upgraded. And Nintendo already said they personally upgraded a few of their games, like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, so I played that. I also played Zelda Tears of the Kingdom because that was specially upgraded. But then I tried out some other games that were not officially upgraded yet. And I just wanted to see if the Switch 2 could use its natural power in this graphics card to like make these games run a little bit better than they did on the Switch 1, which they all do. The developers just have to go back and like take the ceiling cap off of the frame rate or the resolution. And some of these old games can just run so much better without them having to really work on it. And the first one I wanted to try out was Persona 5 Royal. So I was like really excited to play Persona 5 Royal on the Switch 2. I was like, it's gonna run a little bit smoother and cleaner. You know, I know it doesn't have an upgrade yet from the developers, but it's gonna be just a little bit more enhanced and smooth and clean looking. But I popped it in and really it's not. It's the same old resolution. So I'm on this new Switch 2 handheld 1080p screen, and Persona 5 Royal is 540p in handheld. And then when you dock it on the TV, it's 720p. So that was really disappointing that Persona 5 Royal has not gotten a little bit of a natural upgrade yet, but hopefully the developers from Atlus will go back and upgrade that game for Switch 2 and give me like 4K 60 FPS. That would be insane, right? But instead of playing Persona 5 Royal, because I was disappointed at how the Switch 2 didn't do enough for it, I switched to Shin Megami Tensei 5, which I also own, and holy crap, I've not played any of those games, but I am loving this game so far. And this game runs 720p, 30 frames per second in handheld, 1080p docked on the TV, and it's like perfect. It's flawless, you know, there's no hiccups at all. So Shin Megami Tensei running a bit better resolution-wise than Persona 5 Royal with the same frame rate. I was like, fine, I'll just play this. It's so good. I'm gonna make a separate video about this game. It's so badass. You know, it's like Persona, but dark, badass. And the demons are like real and they talk to you. They're not just all personas that, you know, you fight with their skills, like they're actually there in the game. So anyway, been loving Shin Megami Tensei 5 on the Switch 2. It runs beautifully. To experience this new NVIDIA graphics card inside the Switch 2 enhancing old games is like so fun for me. The real way to see that chip in action is Mario Kart World, and oh my gosh, it looks beautiful. The HDR, the lighting, the character models, it's so good now. Nintendo games are gonna look amazing when they keep coming out on this new generation. That brings us to like the pricing. You know, we've got the Nintendo Switch 2 at $450, and then you get the Mario Kart World bundle at $500, which knocks off $30 of the price of Mario Kart World. So highly recommend doing that, picking up that bundle. $500, it's the same price as like a PS5. And this is Nintendo's new console. It's not as powerful as the PS5, but it's, you know, almost the same, and it can do handheld portable gaming. So you can almost say that's better. So I think the pricing of the console is worth it there. Now, if you already own a Switch 1 and you're happy with it and you don't care about graphics and frame rate, like I've been nerding out about here, you know, I wanted to test out that NVIDIA card, see what games run better. Like if you don't care about any of that, then you probably don't need a Switch 2 yet. You know, wait for the exclusive games to come out. That brings me to another point, like how many exclusive games are there right now at launch for you to buy a Switch 2? Not many good ones. Mario Kart World is great. It is a fun game, but there's not going to be as many launch games right now for you to play. So in that case, you might want to hold off on the system, wait till, you know, Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out, Metroid Prime 4, Pokemon Legends ZA, all of them this year. So maybe that's when you'll want to pick up a Switch 2 after it's got a little bit of a bigger library. If you're really into the graphics like I am, then this Switch 2 is 100% worth it. It's so powerful compared to the Switch 1, and it's a treat and a pleasure to experience Nintendo games in the higher graphics and resolution. So let me know what you guys think about the Switch 2. Is it worth it for you? Are you gonna pick one up? Or are you just gonna hold out for the Xbox handheld instead? Let me know what you guys think. Leave a like on the video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.